are you this afternoon?
Very good, Mark. How you doing?
Doing well. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
So how things been going lately in your golf game?
Been going good.
Yeah.
Been playing a lot more recently. You know, trying to work on a couple of things on the range and within the rounds. Trying to improve a little bit. Shooting some better scores than what I've shot in the past. Seeing a lot of progress, but overall things have been going good.
How long have you been playing golf?
So I've been playing on and off since I was 15. Very consistent the last 3 years, but
Okay.
in total, I would say I've been playing for about 9 years.
Given you've been playing for about 9 years, you know, what's about your personal best, lowest score?
So my best right now is 80.
80.
I can't break
Okay.
80 for the life of me. I can't get past it. So
Right.
I'm shooting for that all the time. But best has been 80. The worst has been in the high 120s. So we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
You know,
And
we all have them scores.
happens.
Yeah, it's been shooting consistent in the 80s and the 90s, and staying around that range.
Also mentioned you were a tennis player, right?
Yes.
So tell me about your tennis.
So started playing tennis with my dad when I was 9, and then that developed into me moving in with my coach as the years went on when I was about 13, 14, and actually in Cordova and the Memphis area, and then that translated to me going to Ole Miss to play with them on a scholarship. Played for them for 2 years.
As we go through and as we start working on your golf swing and we build our relationship with one another, Sebastian, one thing I want you to always keep in the forefront of your mind is obviously you're a very talented athlete. Like no one plays college sports anywhere if they're not athletic.
Yeah.
Right. So you have a high level of athleticism. And given that you're a tennis player and played at the collegiate level, it tells me that there's probably a lot of things that you could do a lot with your hands and your arms, right? And
absolutely.
so we want to bring as many of those skills over to golf as possible.
Okay.
Right? So always keep that in the forefront. Now, I didn't play tennis. I grew up playing baseball and then moved over to golf later once I was an adult. And I had some success. I played on the scratch tours. But the one thing that my coach always taught me that I think is very important that I just want to say right up front, bring those skills over, because there's always skills that translate from one sport to the next.
Yeah,
all right?
That's right.
Okay, well, let's hit some golf shots, and
Okay.
let's get a look at your swing, get an idea of what's going on, and we'll talk about some other things as we go through that.
All right, let's get it.
All right, Sebastian, so let's just take a couple looks here at some things to see in your golf swing, okay?
Okay.
So the first thing is, you just get here. So look at our setup position. Alignment with your feet is pretty good, but the biggest thing that I notice in your setup is look how vertical your arms hang, right? And look how close the golf club is to your body. So the first thing that I want to do is just kind of go through your fundamentals a little bit.
Okay.
And let's get those arms hanging more in a natural position instead of so close to you.
Okay.
Okay. Now, as we go through and look from a face-on position, one thing that really stood out to me here is watch as we come through impact. See how those hands flip and those forearms roll over.
Yep.
We talk about not breaking 80 and then your other rounds being up around above 100.
Yeah.
That's why. What we really want to do is develop a golf swing to where we can just have the most natural, uninhibited motion to where we don't have to catch anything up or get anything back in position.
Okay.
If you think about you with this 7-iron you're swinging, you're at 88, 89, 90 miles an hour. So you have a lot of club head speed. And when we think about what's going on and the changes in catching the club face up, well, when you're swinging down, you've got less than a quarter of a second to catch this thing back up somehow.
Yeah.
So you have very little time.
Yep.
And the faster your swing speed is, the less time you have. So ideally what we want to do is we want to correct things in our setup first,
Okay.
right? Because nothing's moving.
Yeah.
We can make any changes there we want, okay?
Yeah.
And then if we're not able to make the changes there, if we have to do something in the backswing, that's okay too.
Yeah.
But what we don't want to have to rely on time is in the downswing.
Yes.
Right?
I
So
agree.
setup, we have all the time we need to fix whatever. Backswing, we have a little more time to fix something if we need to. But if
Okay.
we're relying on right here at impact, you're never going to get to where you consistently shoot low rounds, and it's
Yeah.
going to be hard to get below 80. All right, well, let's get into some just some basic fundamentals here, easy to understand. We'll keep things simple for
Okay.
you and give you something to walk away from here with and improve upon.
Oh,
So
awesome.
one thing I want you to do, Sebastian, is start making more time with alignment rods on the ground. Now, every year since I've lived in Memphis, I go out to the FedEx St. Jude Classic, and I can tell you year after year, and especially since it's become a FedEx playoff event, and you got the top 70 players in the world here, a vast majority of the top players in the world start all their practice and their pre-warm-ups for their round with an alignment rod on the ground. Now, specifically concerning your setup, so we see when you get in the setup position, your arms hang very vertical and the club is real close to your body.
Okay.
All right. So what we want to do is get the arms out in a natural hanging position,
Okay.
and give ourselves some room to swing the club coming through impact. And so the way we're going to do that, get your alignment rod, set it on the ground. So place your club on the ground, get in your stance, and as you put your hands on the club, here's a little drill you can test your distance. If I'm too close to the ball like you are, and I drop this hand off, where'd that hand just go?
Way more out in front than the other one.
You saw that right away, right?
Yep.
So if I'm here and I relax that hand, or if I relax this hand, well, that's where my arms want to hang naturally. That's where the club, and that's where my hand should go on the club at, is here. And naturally that creates some space here between my belt and the handle of the club.
Yeah. Okay.
So the other thing, now that I have this alignment rod on the ground, Sebastian, I can put my toes on that alignment rod, and a really good visual is when my hands are in the right place and I look down, the tips of my hands or the tips of my thumbnail and fingernail on this trail hand, they're right there on that alignment rod. Okay, so you come in here and let's just get a feel for that and see how that feels for you.
Okay.
Yep, now just drop this hand off the club, let it relax. Yep, just let it relax, there you go. You see where it naturally hangs, and if I hold your club, take this one off now. There you go, relax them. So take about a half step back for me. Yep, a little bit more. There you go. Now bring them around the golf club there. Yep, and if I put this right on your toe line, if you look down, where do you see your hands?
Right on the alignment stick.
Right on the alignment stick. So that's a really good test. Now look at all this space you have right there.
Yeah.
Now sort of just take a little, without a golf ball on the ground, just take it back and see how that feels, and see if you can strike the mat right there where the club is if there were a ball. Just kind of, get used to that feeling there, see how it feels for you.
Okay.
Feel like you got more room to move?
Yeah, a lot more room actually. I feel like I'm not struggling if I'm going to hit my leg, with how close I am. And honestly, it felt like I had a little bit more rotation. And I don't know if that's, true or not, but.
Yeah, so how it feels for you is how it feels for you, right? So,
Yeah.
and it's different for every person. But go ahead and set up again in your old position there when everything was here close. So what's happening right here, Sebastian, is your arms are so vertical. When you take it back, the club gets sucked way in the inside, right? So once you get to where the arms are sort of out away from you, as you take the club back, well, now when you get here to this position, instead of the club being so far back,
Yeah.
and you're jammed in, nowhere else to go, now you've got plenty of room to keep moving the club back and up. So when you
Yeah.
say more rotation, it may be more rotation. We can look slow motion and see, but definitely what you have a feel for is you have a feel of the room to move and the ability to make a better pivot or a better coil in the backswing.
Yeah.
And everything work naturally together better.
Okay.
All right. So make a few practice swings, and then we'll introduce the ball back into the equation. Where did the ball pretty much go?
That's straight.
It went dead straight. You don't always have to be perfect.
No, you don't.
So here's the thing. We had a lot of good repetitions, right? There are some other things in your swing that I saw, Sebastian, that we could sit here and micromanage, but we don't always have to go and work on every little thing we see on camera.
That's right.
All right, so what I want to do with you, number one, let's just get used to this new setup position.
Okay.
Right, and let's just get to where you ingrain it and it feels natural, and you know when you're not doing it right, keep your alignment right on the ground, because that's naturally going to change the shape of your swing a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
You're naturally going to get the club in a little better position. Here's my question to you. Do you need to go out to a driving range and practice this?
For me, I do, because I don't have a backyard. I don't have, well, no, I can do it at the house. No, I can literally just do it.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
So if you got a mirror somewhere, just set your phone up on the countertop and just rehearse, because you don't have to swing the club to get used to what is here to create some space.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
Let's just stick with that. Let's get good at it, and then we'll look at the next piece next lesson.
Love it.
Well, Sebastian, thank you for your time.